Я на подскоке песик, обкашляем вопросик. Вопросик. Вопросик.
Hello and welcome back to That Russian Suka. Today we are going to be talking about Russian superstitions and kind of how they originated, and comparing them to superstitions that we see in America. And I have two guests with me. I have Katelynn and Nancy.
Hello.
Katelynn, do you want to introduce yourself and tell us about your degree and everything?
Hi, my name is Katelynn, or Cheese, but that's... Anyways, I recently graduated from UGA last spring with my bachelor's in Bachelor of Science in Biology. I'm not familiar with much Russian superstitions, and I'm excited to be here.
Sounds good. Now, Nancy.
My name is Nancy. I'm currently a junior. I have a bachelor's of science in psychology, minoring in human services. Right now I work in Dr. Frick's lab where she works with babies, so I get to look at babies and go blah 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 blah.
Bitch, I'm the baby.
I don't know. I don't know anything about Russian superstitions either, so I'm excited.
Yes, it's going to be a learning experience for all of us because I have some questions specifically for Katelynn and your biology degree. Maybe we'll see if these are biologically possible.
Okay.
Okay, so our first superstition is, as a female, if you sit in the snow or you play in the snow, your eggs will freeze and you will be incapable of bearing children.
That's a Russian superstition?
Yes.
I thought that was like an American thing. I heard that growing
That's a
up.
thing, really?
Yeah, I heard it growing up.
Oh man, that's the first I'm hearing it.
Really?
But also, I grew up in Georgia, and we don't see snow.
That's true,
So-
yeah. It's just anytime it snowed, my grandparents were like, "You can't go play in the snow. We want grandchildren," or I guess I was their grandchildren, so great grandchildren. I was like, "What?" So my question is, biologically, can snow freeze your eggs?
That I was not prepared for this one. Honestly, well, I'm going to say no, because we have a beautiful thing, homeostasis, keeping a nice toasty 98.6 degree equilibrium in our bodies, and the only time you would really be in danger of like your body temperature dropping low enough to do any kind of like permanent damage would be with like hypothermia.
Yeah.
So I guess that's where that kind of comes from. If you're just gonna sit in the snow with no pants on for like an hour, you're probably gonna have some kind of issue crop up. I don't know if like eggs, but like if you want to sit in the snow and just exist in the snow for a little bit, I think you're fine. I think your kids are fine.
You hear that, babushka?
So pro tip, wear warm clothing when you go play in the snow.
Basically.
all right. Do you guys have any?
Specific.
I know.
No babies.
Do you guys have any idea where maybe this could have originated from?
Well, Russia's cold, right?
Yeah.
So I guess maybe like people, like especially poor people, they didn't have like warm clothing, so they would just go out there and like be cold and stuff, and because of like homeostasis and like hypothermia stuff, that would cause them to be like less fertile, because it's like that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, just like a coincidence that turned into more.
Yeah.
That sounds logical. A lot of superstitions are made, I feel like, in order to like easy answers for tough questions. So it's like, yeah, don't go out in the fucking snow. That's so stupid. That's so bad for you. It'll kill your eggs. That's why. Just don't do it.
That makes sense. So I have two for this next one. They kind of relate to each other, because these would both supposedly make you sick. So, drinking ice water will make you catch a cold is one of the superstitions. And then the other one is walking in the house barefoot will make you sick. So, like, when I was growing up, we had these things called tapachki. And my grandma would always be like, put on the tapachki, you're gonna get sick. And they're, like, just little slippers to walk around the house in. Because socks would apparently get you sick, too.
Oh, no, that's a thing for Mexicans too.
Really?
Yeah, my mom would be like, "Ponte tus zapatos. You're gonna get sick." Like,
The chanclas?
yeah, she'd threaten me with it. She'd be like, "Put this shit on." I'm like, okay.
So that's also I'm not, and you can't tell because it's audio. I'm not Asian, but that's also a thing. and a lot of Asian cultures too. I don't know about the Black community or the African community personally. I grew up with a bunch of white people. And they just wear their shoes everywhere. It's horrible.
Biologically, are either of these possible?
So it was cold. It was
Drinking ice water
drinking ice water.
and then walking barefoot in the
Walking
house.
barefoot will get you sick. I want to say no for the ice water thing. I know that ice water is damaging to your vocal cords. Like if you're a singer, you don't want to drink ice water, like before performances or like excessively because it can like damage your throat on the way down. As far as getting you sick, I could only see that like if you were already sick and drinking ice water, that would probably make the problem worse. Because you're like cooling yourself from the inside out if you're already struggling with temperature things, you know, like, and even that not me entirely accurate. So I don't, but like in that specific scenario, maybe. Otherwise, I don't think that's true. But I guess maybe if you're in Russia and it's cold already.
And then you drink the ice
because
water.
your immune system's going to be more weakened when it's cold.
Yeah, it's just harder. So in the Russian, in a cold climate context, that would make sense.
Okay, yeah. I didn't really think about like in the context of actually being in Russia.
the inside shoe, the slippers one. I could see that kind of sort of making sense. I feel like if enough cultures have something similar that widespread, then there's probably some kind of truth to it. As far as like on a biological level, like maybe if you're like walking around barefoot and like we didn't always have like these nice carpeted floors or like finished like wood grains and stuff and like synthetic flooring, so like if you're walking around barefoot and there's a splinter, or like you're walking around barefoot and there's mold on the floor, or stuff like that, then you can increase fungal infections, bacterial infections. Sorry to get, I know that freaks people out, some people out. So sanitize. Like give you sanitary little shoes. They're specifically for walking around the house.
Sanitize your dogs.
Yeah. so I could see that's like my take on that. So I think.
Sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like that makes sense because like usually the floor gets dirty and dusty, so all that dirt's on your dogs. So like you're probably just gonna get sick eventually because you're always like. I don't know how to explain it.
Totally.
Make that sound again, but closer to the mic.
Share with the class. You heard it here first.
I can't.
Okay, so this next one, I know both of y'all like cats, so very biased opinion, but a cat crossing the street in front of you is bad luck, especially if it's black. I've heard the black cat one in America, but in Russia it's like any cat crosses the street, you best go the other way.
That's interesting.
Any cat?
Yeah.
I don't know. I see it as a good luck kind of thing because like how often do you see cats? You're most likely gonna see like a raccoon or something. So I feel like if I see a raccoon, I'm like, that's bad luck. Raccoons, they like go through dumpsters and stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe like, because the black cat thing has to do with like witchcraft and like satanic stuff.
Back in ye old days.
Back in when religion was really scary. But with the cat thing, maybe that could be, they're hunters, right? Like we domesticated cats because they're really good at hunting vermin and stuff. So maybe like if a cat's around, then that means you probably have like a rat problem.
Oh, okay.
Maybe.
So you
That
think that's
would
where the
make
bad
sense
luck
of why
kind of
it's
came
like
in?
Yeah.
Oh.
So it's like, we
Interesting.
don't, it's like, you know how people like would get angry at, oh, well, no, I don't know if this is a common example. Bear with me. So let's say if someone, okay, Encanto. Bruno, right? How people are so angry at him because he makes these predictions and then they come true, but it's really, he's like, those events were already set in motion and he's just telling you about them. It's like that, but with cats. So it's like, they're like, ugh, a cat. That means there's pests around, you know? But really, it's like, the cat's there because there were already pests.
Yeah.
The cat's not bad luck. You're
Yeah.
just, like, associating.
Maybe.
Oh,
That
I feel
makes
like
sense.
That makes sense of how like a lot of the superstitions occur because it's like it's just like earlier we were saying like coincidence. This thing was already happening and just happens to be that they're together.
Yeah.
Yes. Makes sense.
A lot of things, a lot of uh-ohs in science, or superstitions before science was like a widely accepted thing, happened similarly because of like those things. I'm sorry, I use things a lot. That's a really vague word.
Okay, well, that's the
sorry.
input on his opinion on cats. Hey, we don't need any more opinion. We're good. Thank you. That was Mika. He has a degree in nothing, and he doesn't even pay rent, so pay no attention to him. Okay, so the next one I have. Okay, this next one, we do this all the time growing up. The superstition is you have to sit down inside your house before you leave for a trip to ensure safe travel. So, like, anytime when we'd be, like, getting ready to go to the airport, we'd all be in a rush, and then when everybody was ready, we would just sit down on the couch and then get up and leave. And just to make sure we're gonna travel safe, I guess, gotta sit down.
This is synchronized.
I mean, it doesn't have to be synchronized, but everybody has to be sitting down and then get up together and leave.
Aw.
Oh, that's kind of cute.
And that's
Yeah.
kind of cute.
I liked it because it was like everybody's in a rush and now we get to sit down and chill.
Yeah, I think that's just like a second to breathe
Yeah.
before a journey. And then, like, you know, if the journey's gonna be intense, this might be the last time I see all y'all people
Aw,
together.
yeah.
That's a good way to put it.
Oh, I never thought about it that way. It's kind of sad.
It's sad, but it's also kind of sweet.
Yeah.
Some sweetness in the violence, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe someone there has a knife.
Very true. All right, this one, there's also two kind of grouped together because it has to do with money. So the first one, you have to close the toilet lid to prevent money loss. And then the second one, if you whistle in the house, all your money is going to fly away. Or like you're going to lose all your money.
Oh boy, I'd be poor. All the time.
Do you still like do that? Like, do you close the toilet lid because of the superstition, or do you do it just because it's like not politeness, but like?
I do it so my dog won't drink the toilet water. But I did that as a kid because my parents would be like, "Oh my God, what are you doing?" I'm like, "What?" So I'd do it. I didn't have any money to lose, but my parents' money, you know. Yeah, I'm not too sure.
How did that even like? Because those are so like not correlated at all.
I know, like toilet and money.
Do you know the toilet and the okay, I think the toilet and the money thing is that it's unsanitary to leave your toilets open, your toilet seats up. Because you know, like I forget, there's been like an actual study on this. I read it years ago and I don't remember who did it, but like there was like if you flush a toilet, when you flush, all the stuff that was in the toilet, like the vapor of it just goes up into the air.
Oh.
You know, so maybe
That's gross.
it's like close the toilet for sanitary reasons, but you know, because some people are gross or don't really care, they'll be like, you lose your money.
Oh, yeah.
It's like when you're in a car and the kid. Have you ever, like, when you turn on the lights when it's dark outside?
I can't see.
My parents used to tell me it was illegal.
Really?
Yeah. They were like, it's illegal to have the lights on. And I believed that until I got my license. But it's like, what are you gonna say? Oh, it's distracting to me. Well, the kid doesn't understand that.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's illegal. You'll lose your money.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then whistling. I don't know. I love whistling. My mom hates it. Instead of, I feel like that maybe it's another thing. Whistling, some people just, bad at it. Wait, stop whistling. But instead of like threatening people, they just were like, what was it?
Oh, you're gonna lose all your money.
Oh, yeah.
All your money will fly away.
All your money will fly away. Yeah, no. My mom would just be like, stop that. You stop that right now.
That's funny. All right, I have one more for us. This one is actually a good superstition. So breaking a dish is a sign of happy times. So like if you're washing dishes and you put a dish away and it breaks, oh no, everybody's like, oh my god. But in Russia, it's like, Ura! Fuck yes!
That's a good thing, because often like anger management stuff, like for, oh my god, what am I saying? So for anger management, it's a good thing to like, obviously don't self-harm, guys. Self-harm bad, but like often it can be recommended that you just get a bunch of plates and you start breaking them, because it feels nice. Okay. I haven't tried it, but I know it's been recommended. But I also wouldn't recommend it because it's like broken glass, so it can be dangerous.
There's like in what's the word I'm looking for? Stores for that? Companies for that?
Yeah.
Like where they literally just give you a sledgehammer and put you in a room with like protective gear and a bunch of breakable things, and it's just like have at it for like an hour.
Yeah, and you can the breaking stuff actually releases like certain hormones.
Endorphins.
Things like that can relieve your stress.
Because we are innately violent creatures and processing emotion hard, but easy.
Break easy emotion hard.
Oh my god. Oh my
god.
I like that. I wanted to save that one for last, so it's like kind of a happy ending. Superstitions.
Those other ones are kind of like,
your money's gonna go away. You're gonna get into a fight. You're not gonna have children.
I don't know. I thought those superstitions were kind of funny. I found them personally enjoyable.
Yeah. I followed most of them growing up because I didn't know any better. So when I grew up and told people that, they're like, what the fuck? And then I was like, huh,
Like,
maybe. Yeah. All right, so that is going to conclude our podcast. I hope our audience enjoyed and stayed with us while we giggled and went off track a little bit, but it was a lot of fun, and I hope to see y'all later in the next episode. Again, this is That Russian Suka, so like, subscribe. I know it's not a YouTube video, but whatever you do for podcasts, do that.
Bye.
Ciao.